Monks are considered weak, they say. They can't compete with other classes, they claim. Well, this time I'll demonstrate that the monk is an amazing class with decent damage at any level. And I'll showcase it using my character Karlach because, well, she knows how to strike. This is Aiming for Gaming, and today we're aiming for a build sharing. We'll begin as a monk with 8 strength, 16 dexterity, 15 constitution, 15 wisdom and 10 intelligence and charisma. Why? Let me explain. Our unarmored defense will work if we don't wear any armor and shield, and these stats will boost our armor class by 5 right from the start, which is decent. Until level 4 we'll use monk weapons, with Carolan's Grace being our best pick. However, you'll obtain it in the first village, when you're likely already level 3, so it's your choice for only one level. We dumped strength for a reason. We'll be using elixirs of heal giant strength all the time. They set your strength to 21, and even at level 1, your melee weapon attack plus flurry of blows will be up to 31 combined. Both our attack roll and damage roll will rely on the strength modifier from 21 strength, and that's huge. And we can use this bonus action twice per short rest at level 1, as we have 2 key points. Each monk level gives you an additional key point. Not to mention that the monk has strength saving throws. We'll talk about potions later in this guide. That's the basics covered, so let's level up a bit. At level 2 you'll also get speed improvement, which works only if you don't wear armor and a shield, as well as some actions. At level 3 we should pick our subclass, which is Way of the Open Hand. Here it becomes spicy, as we are getting Flurry of Blows upgraded with some awesome crowd control options, which can knock our target prone, stagger it or push it 5 meters away. All of them are great, as you will have an advantage against knocked targets or move freely between your enemies after staggering them. Level 4 grants us resistance to falling damage at the cost of reaction and, most importantly, our first feat. And believe me, there is no other option but to pick Tavern Brawler here. This will be our bread and butter, as our strength modifier now will be added twice to all our unarmored attacks. At this point you can forget about monk weapons, our unarmored strikes hit harder. By the way, Flurry of Blows now deals up to 32 damage, which means almost 50 damage per turn. And if that's not enough, here's the thing. We also get 1 extra ability point to spend on Constitution, making it an even number. That's why we started with 15. Don't invest in strength, as our elixirs will always set it to 21 anyway. Level 5 is also a huge spike for us, as we're getting our extra attack, or 64 max damage per turn, and also an option to use Stunning Strike action, which is amazing crowd control as well. Surprisingly, level 6 is also a huge spike, because we can now move even further, and our attacks can conditionally become magical if our enemies have resistances to melee damage. And that's not all, we also get 3 passives that add necrotic, psychic or radiant damage to all our attacks. They must be toggled on, so don't forget to check them out in the passives tab. What's important is that this bonus applies to unarmed attacks and to both strikes of the Flurry of Blows action, so at this point you can deal up to 44 damage per use and 88 per turn. Last but not least, we get a Wholeness of Body action, which not only restores half of our key points, but also adds an extra bonus action for 3 turns. All at once per long rest. With that and haste spell combined, we can now temporarily become a Gatling gun with 2 melee attacks, 2 extra attacks and 2 Flurry of Blows per turn, which equals 176 damage per turn. Splendid! By the way, there is a rumor that pressing the like button on this video increases the odds of successful rolls. Definitely try this! At this point we've got the core abilities from Monk, so it's just about time to make it even stronger. To do so, we'll multiclass into Rogue. 3 levels of Rogue more precisely. There's nothing special in Rogue level 1 and 2, except maybe cunning actions, which synergize well with our build. What's really important here is Rogue level 3, where we should pick a Thief subclass and get an extra bonus action from Fast Hands. So now, at level 9, we can deal these 2 Flurry of Blows twice per turn regularly and thrice per turn on demand under Wholeness of Body. Now our burst damage will deal up to 220 damage. Alright, let's finish leveling. Time to switch to Monk and get extra evasion against spells, which might even nullify the damage if you succeed in saving throws, and auto-cure from Charmed and Frightened status effects. At level 11 in total and Monk level 8 you'll get an additional feat, Here I suggest either improving your dexterity for more armor and initiative or, and this is my preferred way, choosing resilient wisdom. With this, you'll even out your wisdom value and get one of the best saving throws proficiency. As for the last level, there are 3 options. The first is to spend one more level into Rogue for an additional feat, which will probably be an ability improvement for dexterity or wisdom. This is a balanced build. The second option is to reset your class and start as Barbarian for its unarmored defense, which works with shields, or even equip medium armor, then spend the rest 11 levels as we did before. This is a more tanky build, but less mobile. The third option, and my favorite, is to level up Monk to 9 and get a passive that allows us to ignore difficult terrain while moving and adds 6 meters to our jump length. And the icing on the cake will be Key Resonance, which literally replaces our regular punch and makes our enemies' bodies resonate with ours. This is so amazing as it adds an area of effect potential to our toolkit. With each strike we'll add Resonate status to enemies even if the strike kills them. This effect lasts for 10 turns and can be used for Key Resonation Blast action, which costs only 1 key and nothing else. So you can use it every turn as an addition to your toolkit. This will trigger an AoE blast with 3d6 damage and also trigger the same blast for all nearby resonating bodies. In other words, multiple AoE blasts in one turn as long as enemies are close enough to trigger a chain reaction. Under the haste effect, we can land 4 unarmed strikes, which means an additional 12d6 damage per target in a group or up to 72 damage in addition to our already insane damage. And if you want to pass through the enemies unharmed to apply such effect to more targets, use Staggering Flurry of Blows, which disables your target's opportunity attacks. Or pick Mobile Feat as second one. Which endgame build fits you the most and why? Let us know in the comments. Now let's talk about items. I'll try to avoid spoilers here and just list the items I suggest. There are several core items in Act 1 which will be best in slot for almost all game except Act 3. Corellon's Grace is our monk weapon until level 4, when we can start using our bare fists. Hunting Shortbow adds a passive with advantage against monstrosity type enemies, and there are plenty of them in the game. You can also use it as a ranged weapon if you can't reach your target for some reason. For accessories, my picks are Ring of Protection, Crusher's Ring, which will be replaced with Ring of Regeneration later on, and Moondrop Pendant replaced with Khaled's Gift or Amulet of Greater Health. If you choose the latter, dump your Constitution and invest more into Wisdom or whatever you like. Clothing-wise, I suggest picking Blood Guzzler Garb until Act 2, then get the Graceful Cloth from Esther, which adds more dexterity and some other neat bonuses. Later on, you must switch to Vest of Soul Rejuvenation, which is more tanky, synergizes with our saving throws and adds even more damage possibility. My pick for headwear is Haste Helm, replaced with Scabby Pugilist Circlet, followed by Horns of the Berserker or Mask of Soul Perception. Handwear is definitely Bracers of Defense, unless you're planning to dump Dexterity and equip Gloves of Dexterity. But anyway, in the end game you must get Gloves of Soul Catching, which are just amazing for monks. Footwear is Featherlight Boots at the start, then Boots of Uninhibited Kushigo, which will boost our damage as well. As for the cloak, pick Cloak of Protection or Cloak of Displacement, both are good. This build relies heavily on Elixirs of Strength. Luckily, as long as you don't trigger the questline with Anti-Ethel to the south of the Blighted Village, you can buy 3 elixirs per long rest from her and 1-2 elixirs per long rest from Dareth's Bone Cloak. By the way, if you want to know more about the Anti-Ethel questline and how to get an extra ability point from it, I have a quick guide just about that. The link will be in the description. Also, if you give Noble Stack to Dareth Bone Cloak, she'll be selling 2 elixirs of Cloud Giant Strength per long rest later in the game. There are many other traders that will sell it, but such elixirs are not guaranteed stock. Nevertheless, this elixir is way superior to Giant one, as it sets your strength to 27, which means even more damage. As for party composition, I recommend sticking with a tank, a sorcerer with twinned haste spell, and a bard or cleric for those neat hold person and bless spells. I hope with this guide you have achieved what you were aiming for today. For more guides, simply visit my channel and consider subscribing, it's that easy. Thank you all for watching and see you next time.